Oh, darling, please believe me. I'll never do you no harm. Today I'm going to teach you how to play Oh, Darling by the Beatles. This was, again, another one of those songs that so many people requested, so I'm finally providing for you, and is just a classic song from the Abbey Road record. This was one that Paul McCartney wrote on his own, and he said that he wanted his voice to sound super raw when he was singing it. I can't guarantee that today, but what I can guarantee is I'm going to show you how to play a super authentic sounding arrangement of this. I mean, it's going to sound almost exactly like what the band is playing, and there's a few variables in here that you can add in if you have the skills or interest to do so. But if you are somebody with less piano skills or less experience as a pianist, you can still find lots to play. If this is what you're looking for, stick around. I'm Brenda Earl Stokes. I'm the owner and creator of Piano and Voice. With Brenda, I make creative and practical resources for singers, pianists, and music educators to help you level up and become a versatile musician. We're going to start this song off, as we often do, by looking at the chords. And I have a free downloadable lyric and chord sheet if you want. So all you have to do is go here to pianoandvoicewithbrenda.com/oh darling. And there's a box you can fill out and you'll get it. It's absolutely free, and it'll be really helpful for you to have so that you don't have to try to remember all the chords. You'll have the lyrics and chords in front of you. Once you've taken a moment to do that, let us get into studio mode. So Oh Darling is in the key of A, and it never hurts to just kind of take a moment and say, okay, what's the key of A? F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and like play the A major scale a few times, in both hands, just nice and easy. Just so it'll help you to kind of feel your way through the song. So the first chord that you're going to play is this chord, which is an E augmented chord, or sometimes like an E sharp 5. So this is it's a B sharp or a C natural. And you could play it, and if you want, repeat it if you like. And then the song goes, it's an A chord, and then it goes to E. And I'm playing E in first inversion with the G sharp, B, and E, because it's a little bit easier just to grab. So if I go from the A to the E, and then I'm going to play this F sharp minor, also in first inversion. So it's 3, 5, and 1, right? And my left hand is just playing the roots of the chords. That's it. Then it goes F sharp minor with an E in the bass. So my right hand stays the same. My left hand goes to E. Then I'm going to play a D chord, and I'm playing the D in second inversion. So this is the fifth, the root, the third, with a D in the left hand. And then I'm going to play a B minor 7 chord. And what's a B minor 7? It's a B minor triad with a flat 7 on top. And the way that you can remember it is it's a whole step down from the root of the chord. So it goes from the B minor 7, so 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then it's going to go to an E7 chord. And you could play the E7 chord up here, but I'm going to invert it and put it in my hand like this. You see that? So I'm taking our E7 chord, which again is an E major triad with a flat 7. And the 7 is a whole step down from the root, just like that. And I'm going to play it in second inversion, B, D, E, G sharp. Because again, we don't have a lot of time to play it. So I'm going to go, believe me when I tell you, I'll never do you no harm. And I'm going to go to the A. And then I'm going to walk my left hand up to the D. You see that? And I'm playing the same D I was playing before. It's the D in second inversion. So A, da, da, da. That's the walk up, we call it. And then you're going to walk down. And then you're going to play that weird E chord again. See, like that? And if you want, double it up the top. So let me sing and play this. If you need to rewind this a couple of times, it's totally, totally fine. You're also welcome, if you want, to write in which chord notes I'm playing in which order. If that's going to help you, that's totally a reasonable scaffolding to use. So go ahead and do that if that will help you to remember the inversions better. So we play this chord, and I'm going to repeat it. Oh, darling, please believe me. I'll never do you no harm. There's your D chord. Then B minor 7 is this one, remember? Believe me when I tell you. There's our E7, right? The 5, the 7, the 1, the 3. Back to B minor 7. I'll never do you no harm. Up to the D. And then we're playing that E chord again. Oh, darling, if you leave me, I'll never make it alone. And then back to that B minor 7 again. Believe me when I tell you, I'll never do you no harm. Back to the D again. And then we're going to go into the chorus. We're going to play an A7 to get us there. And remember, an A7 or any dominant chord is the major triad with a flat 7 on top, which means that it's a whole step lower than the root on the top. Okay? So then as we go into the chorus, the chords are, when you told me, right? So there's your D chord. You didn't need me anymore. So I'm just going to play a D in root position. Why not? And then this F7, also in root position, and it's F, A, C, E flat. It says D sharp. It means E flat. And just remember, major triad with a flat 7 on the top, a whole step lower. And then it's going to go, well, you know, I nearly broke down and cried. Then it's going to go to B7. When you told me you didn't need me anymore. And then we're going to go to E7. And I'm going to do E7. This is what he plays on the recording, and I really like it. It's the E7 in first inversion. Remember, it's a major triad with a flat 7 on top. And all we're going to do is take the E and put it on the top like that. And then we're going to go up to F7, which is all notes up a half step like this. See that? 3, 5, 7, 9. And this again should say E flat. And then back to E7 again. So, well, you know, I nearly fell down and died. And then you're going to play that E augmented again. All right. So let's try the chorus again. The first 4 chords of the chorus are going to be in root position. When you told me you didn't need me anymore, well, you know, I nearly broke down and cried. When you told me you didn't need me anymore. Then the E7 in first inversion. You know, I nearly fell down and died. And that's it. That's the whole song. Then we're back into the verse again. So with that being said, and if you've marked whatever you need to do into your free printable here, go to town, write it in. I do it for my private students all the time. You don't want to do it for the rest of your life, but temporarily until you feel more confident with your inversions. That is terrific. So now we're going to get into what this accompaniment strategy is. And this is that I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. It's got that kind of 50s doo-woppy, sort of classic rock and roll. Think of Little Richard, right? Think of, any of those kinds of artists. That's what this groove is. That's what sounds kind of vintage about it, because even though this was recorded in the 60s, this is really hearkening back to earlier days in rock and roll, which is great and wonderful because the Beatles are, never secret. They were never secretive about the fact that they were obsessed with like Chuck Berry and, the old time original kind of rock and roll. So we're going to take that same approach here. We're going to pulse, right? And this is when we can go back to, and I've explained this on here before, this idea that we can think about this in one of 2 ways. We can think of ourselves as being in 12/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or we can think of ourselves being in 4/4 with a triplet grid underneath it. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. And it's this underlying groove of triplets or groups of 3 eighth notes, however you want to think about it, are what we have driving this piece for us today. So that's what we're going to dive in and do. Your right hand is going to be, please believe me, 3 and a 4 and a, I'll never do you no harm. You see how we do that? So let me add my left hand just playing a bass note. So we're going to go, oh, darling. That's all you do, that sounds fantastic. And nobody on earth is going to complain about that. It sounds just like the record. Okay. And all you're doing is you're holding the bass notes down in the left hand and playing this, right? And it's like, are the stars out tonight? You know that song? Pikachu what? You know that one? It's got that kind of 1950s kind of slow dancing sound to it as well. So if that's all you want to do, it's fine. I am going to show you how to level up if you want to, if that's something that is going to make your life better. That would be nice. I'm going to show you 2 different ways. So you're going to go 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3. So you can go 1, 2, and da dee da da. And all I'm doing is I'm outlining the chord. Do dee dee da do 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 da da. So let's try that. And wherever there's enough time to do it, we will. And if there isn't enough time, we'll kind of fudge it a little bit. So start out with our E augmented chord. Oh, darling. See how we do that? See how I kind of fudged it? There wasn't really enough time. Bum-ba-dee-da. So I went bum-ba-dee-da. You see how I did that for the B minor 7 to E7? Right? And so this you can carry out through the entire song. Okay? You can do the same thing for the chorus. And you told me you didn't need me anymore. Well, you know I nearly broke down and cried. See how I did that? You can do this for the entire song and it works great. If you want to level it up even more, and this is the most challenging one, so give yourself a minute to sort this out, is you're going to go 1, 6, 5, 6, 1, 6, 5, 6. You see how we did that? And that's going to work mostly for the minor or the major chords. So if I go, oh, darling, 6, 5, 6, 6, 5, 6. I'll never do you no harm. See how I do that? Believe me when I tell you. Now here I'm going to play what I was playing before, right? You no harm. Same thing we were playing before. And then the E chord. And then 6, 5, 6, 1. 6, 5, 6. See how I did that? 1, 6, 6, 5, 6. So you can do that wherever it sort of makes sense to do. Again, on the major chords, it's going to make more sense. In the chorus, you could go, when you told me you didn't need me anymore. You see how that works on the dominant chord? Any of the major chords. And cry when you told me you didn't need me anymore. Well, you know, I nearly fell down and died. You see how we put that in there? So these are options that you can use. One other option that I just want to show you, because this is what they're doing for the bridge of this song, is that they're actually, or the chorus, I mean, of the song, that they're actually, and it's funny because this is the same accompaniment strategy that I do for my Can't Help Falling in Love tutorial, which I'll leave here and I'll link in the bottom. Same exact accompaniment strategy I'm about to show you, right? Because it's also in this 12/8, 4/4 with triplets kind of groove. You can actually just take the chord and you can go do 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 do, and then for the F7, see how I did that? That instead of going 1 3 5 1, I go 1 3 5 7, and then you can do the same thing for, well, I nearly broke down and cried. See how I did that? When you told me that you could arpeggiate the chord, well, I nearly fell down. So this is another way of outlining that underlying triplet grid in a way that just shifts things up a little bit. But you can see if all you're doing is holding roots down, that is fine. If you're going to go 1 3 5 3, that's fantastic. 1 6 5 6, terrific. Right? All of these you can kind of throw into the arrangement of the song. What I will say is what makes accompaniments sound more interesting, more exciting, is when you mix it up a little bit, it will make you sound more, more sort of professional or more interesting. And so this is something that maybe you take 2 of these techniques and you alternate depending on the song. Or if you want to be super brave, you can collect all of them and kind of throw them in. So now I'm going to do a complete sing and play through for the entire song. And I am going to use a variety of these different ideas just to show you some thoughts. I might do a couple of things that I haven't shown you yet, but again, I'm a video, so you can always scroll back a little bit and kind of pick up what I'm doing. Or you can always leave a comment below and ask me what the heck was that? I never know exactly what I'm going to play whenever I'm just doing the playthrough. So let's go in and do it. So I'm going to play that chord. Oh, darling, please believe me. I'll never do you no harm. Believe me when I tell you, I'll never do you no harm. I realized I didn't show you the very last thing. The end of the song, you get to the A, then you're going to play a B flat 7 chord. And you can play just a straight up B flat 7, B flat D, F, this should say A flat, to A7 if you want. But I played a cool jazz voicing. This is worth writing down, I think. So I'm going to play B flat octaves in my left hand. My right hand is going to play A flat, D, and G. So this is, it says G sharp, but it's A flat, G, D, and G. And this is the 7, the 3, the 13 of the chord. Woo! And then we're going to go down a half step to the A7. So there's the 7, the 3, and the 13, or you can call it the 6. So you're going to go, I'll never do you no harm. Right? That's your, oh yeah, that's you often hear at the end of these kinds of songs. So I hope this tutorial was helpful for you and you enjoyed breaking things down in this simple way. This is how I do all of my tutorials. This is how I teach everybody because, you know, I've heard from people that are taking like weeks or months to learn a single song. Please do not do that. You're just making things hard for yourself. Pick the root position chords. Root position is totally fine. I don't know who told everybody that that's just for, you know, for beginners or whatever. It's not. I play root position chords all the time. Nobody complains. Start with that and then fan your way out to saying, well, how can I approximate this accompaniment strategy? And I showed you today a couple of different options for that. I gave you 2 different bass lines that you could fiddle around with. And if you couldn't play either of those and sing at the same time, just play the root. Like seriously, what's the big deal about just playing the root? Again, I do it all the time. People pay me a lot of money to play for their parties and events and nobody cares. So put that in there if you need to. And then we build things into the arrangement as we need to. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. If it was, make sure you leave me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think, other songs you like, and please, oh please, subscribe to the channel. It's such a small thing to do, but for creators like me who are trying to battle the endless oceanic waves of the algorithms, your thumbs up and your comments and your subscribing really does make a difference for creators like myself. If you want to learn more about me, you should definitely check out my website, pianoandvoicewithbrenda.com. There I have a gazillion great resources there. You can also find out how to work with me. I do teach YouTube viewers one-on-one via Zoom all the time. This has been a really great way for people to get a sampling of my work. So if that's something you're interested in, just drop me an email. Totally cool. I answer all my own emails. Better yet, I have a membership called The Versatile Musician, and this is the best of the best, gobs of great resources in piano skills, music theory, singing techniques, song learning, piano technical skills. I mean, it's really a one-stop shop where you could select exactly what you need. And again, I'm a one-woman operation. I don't have a staff. If you send me an email, it's me that's responding to it. You know, my whole staff consists of just me, myself, and I. Anyways, it's really been a lot of fun to be able to share this with you today. Please reach out if you have any questions. I'm here to help, and I'll see you next time. Happy practicing.